Welcome to the first episode of the 5th season of Ignition. And we figured to celebrate our paper anniversary, let's start off with something special. Ta-da! Sometimes all you need to know about a car is in the name. And think about it. Lamborghini, obviously. Aventador means it's the big mother with the V12 and the billionaire doors. Super veloce, translated from Italian, literally means super fast. And without butchering the Italian language, I can tell you that LP750-4 means right behind your head is 741 screaming horsepower going to all four wheels. The question becomes, is there any way this thing can drive as good as it looks? There's only one way to find out. Before we get moving, let's talk about the difference between the regular Aventador and the Super Veloce. In other words, why does this car cost $100,000 more? The quick and dirty answer is the classic combination of more power and less weight. They added 50 horsepower and they dropped 110 pounds. Some of the ways they achieve that is they got rid of all the active aero stuff. In other words, instead of the wing that pops up, they have a fixed carbon fiber wing, and instead of the air intakes that flap up, they're just fixed carbon fiber pieces. Not only does it save weight, but I think it looks a lot better. But they went to some extreme measures too. Instead of carpeting, the floor mat in this thing is just a giant sheet of aluminum covered in grip tape, just like a skateboard, which happens to be my favorite part of the car. But the most important part of the SV are two things: magnetic shocks and dynamic steering. And believe you me, they make a huge difference. Like many of you, I did not win the Powerball. However, I am lucky enough that somebody handed me the key to a $500,000 Lamborghini. I have a tunnel in downtown Los Angeles and 2 police officers who've shut it down at either end, and 15 gallons of gas sitting in a couple cans over there. I can play in this tunnel with this car all night. Pull the right paddle to engage first gear, get a little thing here. In Italian, it says something about launch control is now available. You take your left foot, you bury the brake pedal with it, take your right foot, you floor it, and then you let go, and you hold on! Jesus! It's just an animal! Oh my God! Okay, bury the brake pedal. Yeah, that's done. Left foot, right foot. This is where a car like the Super Veloce belongs. It is just a king up here. Wow. It's just murdering this road. I had to wear my special shirt. I don't think I've really been below triple digits very much. The grip, the way this car hangs on, it's tenacious. The brakes are incredible. So much confidence. Okay, I gotta calm down. Take it down a notch. Couple things that are totally unique to me in the Super Veloce. One is, in sport, the car's actually looser than in Corsa. You see these drifty shots around the figure 8? Huh? That was in sport mode. And if you think about it, it makes sense. You want to have more fun in sport, and on a track, you want to be focused, you want to be sharp, because loosey-goosey isn't fast on a track. Smooth is. So I told you that 2 of the biggest improvements of the Super Veloce are the steering, the dynamic steering, and the shocks. So we'll start with the steering. Lamborghini dynamic steering which sounds suspiciously to me like Audi dynamic steering, and it's probably the same technology. But unlike any Audi I've ever driven, it works here. It works wonderfully, and basically what it does is, depending on what mode you're in, how fast you're going, temperature, other factors, it varies the rate of the rack, and it works great. You'll notice my hands are never getting crossed over, even in sharp corners. So very little steering input equals a lot of steer, and that just makes the car handle that much better. Also incredible are the shocks. They're magnereological dampers, magnetic shocks, just like the 488, just like the Audi R8 V10 Plus, just like the Huracan, just like a Camaro. A lot of companies that do a lot of development work on the Nürburgring are switching to them because what they're really good at is on a bumpy road like, say, Big Willow, they eat that stuff up. You know, my favorite car, if you really put a gun to my head, is the Lamborghini Countach. When I first saw that thing when I was 10 years old until now, it still blows me away. No big V12 Lamborghini has ever delivered on performance. Not the Miura, not the Countach, not the Diablo, not the Murcielago. Maybe the SV was getting there, but it was still, it was okay. Not the Aventador, but the Super Veloce LP754. This makes all my Countach dreams come true. And I asked Maurizio Reggioni on the launch, I said, what's the biggest difference, the most important factor differentiating the regular Aventador from the Super Veloce? And he told me the shocks. He told me that makes the biggest difference, and I got to agree with him, man. This does not drive like an Aventador. This drives like a giant WRX, and I say that as a two-time WRX owner. It's incredible. You don't need stability control. It's so naturally, mechanically stable. It's awesome. Just awesome. Right, here I am flying over turn 6, Big Willow, and the Lamborghini Super Veloce, and I really have no idea why I'm here, and I don't know what I'm doing, but Jesus Christ, I'm going fast. As brutal as the Super Veloce is, and it is brutal, we know it's a great handling car. In fact, the production car lap record at the Nürburgring is currently held by the Porsche 918 Spyder. It did about a 6-minute, 57-second. This thing did a 6-minute, 59-second. And remember, the Porsche's got batteries, it's got 1,000 horsepower. This is all engine. A little birdie told me, actually it was quite a big Italian birdie. Anyways, he told me that this did a 6:59 after only 2 laps, and that Volkswagen corporate said no more because they didn't want to embarrass the $1 million Porsche. He thinks the SV here could beat the 918 at the Nürburgring. I think in the hands of the right driver, the Aventador Super Veloce could beat the 918 here at Big Willow.
This is gonna blow up Instagram.
And YouTube. But Randy, only if you get in the car and drive.
You don't have to ask me twice.
How'd she do?
Man, that's a lot of car, Johnny. It's a lot of car. 740 horsepower, and I love every single Italian one of them.
Nice. But I got some bad news for my theory, and facts are a tricky thing. You did a 1 minute 25.42. Very quick, not the fastest, actually kind of slower than the Huracan, and way slower than about 2 seconds slower than the 918. But it's on courses, and right now, the Pirelli Corsas are the most aggressive tires they make in this size. And next model year, they're gonna have the Trofeo Rs.
Oh.
How much of a difference do you think those tires would make?
It could be a couple seconds.
So it could be quicker than the 918. Have to come back and find out.
Yeah, I look forward to that.
One of my favorite lines from Moby Dick is, "A whaler's wonder wanes." Basically, the first time you harpoon a sperm whale, it's an awesome, awe-inspiring occasion. But the 10th time, a job is just a messy job. The same is true of supercars. Yes, they're fast, loud, and comically impractical. But after 10 of them, what time's dinner? Not so with the Super Veloce. From starting mini riots at gas stations, to the absurd violence of thrust mode, to eating 10 gallons of premium fuel every 20 miles, to murdering its poor Pirellis on a racetrack, every single thing the SV does inspires deep pools of awe. As a brand, Lamborghini unwittingly wrote a bunch of large checks a generation ago. Thousands of young gearheads hung posters of the wild-looking Countach on their bedroom walls, leaving legions of young kids with little more than the opportunity to stare and dream. These kids are now grown, and some of them have the means to purchase the Countach's spiritual successor. Guess what? This whaler's wonder wanes no more.